Students, today we are going to start chapter 1 of class 8 science NCERT book, crop production and its management. In this chapter we will study about how to produce crop and how to manage it after its production. All living organisms require food. Plants make their food by a process known as photosynthesis, while animals being herbivores, carnivores and omnivores obtain their food from plant sources, animal sources, or from both plant and animal sources. At this point, a question arises: why do we need food? We have to eat food to obtain energy, which is utilized by organisms to carry out various body functions like respiration, digestion, and excretion. So, food should be provided to everyone for a healthy society. For this, food has to be produced on a large scale, and there should be regular production of food, proper management of food, and proper distribution of food. Now comes the first topic of this chapter, agricultural practices. Earlier, people were nomadic, which means they used to wander in groups in search of food and shelter. They ate raw fruits and vegetables and started hunting animals for food. Later, they started cultivating land to produce rice, wheat, and other food crops. Now comes the definition of crops. When plants of same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale. It is called crop. On basis of season in which they grow, crops are divided as Kharif crops and Rabi crops. Kharif are grown in the rainy season, which lasts from June to September. Example of Kharif crops are paddy, maize, soyabean, groundnut, etc. While Rabi crops are grown in winter season, which lasts from October to March. Examples of Rabi crops are wheat, gram, pea, mustard, etc. During summer, pulses and vegetables are grown. A question that is asked is, why can't we grow paddy in summer season or in winter season? Reason being, paddy requires lots and lots of water, therefore it is preferred to grow it in rainy season. The next topic is basic practices of crop production, which are preparation of soil, sowing of seeds, adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protection from weeds, harvesting, and storage. Now we will read all of them one by one. Now comes the first step before growing a crop, that is preparation of soil. Our aim here is to turn and loosen the soil. Loosening of soil allows roots to penetrate deep into the soil. It allows roots to breathe easily. Loosening of soil helps in growth of earthworm and microbes present in soil. These are farmers' friend. It allows plants to absorb nutrients present in soil. Hence, turning and loosening of soil is very important for cultivation of crops. The process of turning and loosening of soil is called tilling or plowing. It is done by using plow, which is made of wood or iron. Sometimes plowed fields may have crumbs. Crumbs are big pieces of soil. These crumbs are broken down into small pieces using a plank. Then the field is leveled for sowing and irrigation. This process is done by using leveler. Now moving to tools which are used to break the soil. These are plow, hoe and cultivator. Plow is the most ancient tool. In it we are having a beam which is supported by the animals, plow shaft and a plowshare which helps in loosening of soil. It is pulled by a pair of animals which can be bulls, horse, camel. It is used for tilling of soil, adding fertilizers to soil and removing weeds. Moving to the next tool, that is hoe. Here we are having a handle with a grip, a beam, rod and a bent plate which also helps in loosening of soil. It is also pulled by animals and is used for loosening of soil and removing weeds. Now the most advanced of these tools is the cultivator, which is tractor driven. That's why it saves the labor and time. It is used for loosening of soil and sowing of seeds. Now comes the most important part of crop production, that is sowing of seeds. Good quality seeds are selected and preferred by farmers for sowing because they yield better crop. Now how are these good quality seeds selected? Even we can do it by a simple activity. First of all, we take a beaker and fill it half with water. Now we put a handful of seeds in it. For now, take wheat seeds. Stir it well. You will observe that some of the seeds start floating while others sink down. Why so? The seeds which float are damaged seeds because they become hollow, hence lighter, and hence they float on the surface of water, while good seeds sink in the water. This way we can identify good quality seeds. Now comes the tools for sowing of seeds. Traditionally, we are having a tool which is used along with plow for sowing. It is shaped like funnel. Seeds are filled into the funnel. They pass through the pipe and having sharp pointed ends, which helps in piercing of soil and placing of seeds there. Now in modern method we are having seed drill. Advantages of seed drill are: it sows seed uniformly at proper distance and depth. It ensures that seed is covered by soil after sowing, and it saves time and labor. Now why is sowing seeds uniformly an advantage to seed drill? Because it prevents overcrowding. Sowing seeds uniformly prevents overcrowding, which is an advantage to seed drill. Now what is overcrowding? If we sow two seeds near each other, let's take this is one seed, this is another, we sow them near each other, then they will both compete for nutrients, water and sunlight, affecting each other's growth. Hence overcrowding is avoided by farmers to ensure proper growth of crop. Now the next topic is adding manure and fertilizers to soil. The question that arises here is, what is the aim of adding manure and fertilizers? The aim is they provide nutrients for healthy growth of plants. Earlier we studied that soil is rich in nutrients we require for plant growth. Then why these extra nutrients? Reason is, growing crop after crop depletes nutrients present in soil. So adding manure and fertilizers to soil replenish the soil with nutrients. Now comparing manure with fertilizer. Manure is an organic substance while fertilizer is an inorganic substance. Manure is natural substance while fertilizer is chemical substance. Manure is obtained by decomposition of cattle dung, human waste and plant residues. It can be prepared in fields while fertilizer is prepared in factories. Manure provides lots of humus to soil while fertilizer does not provide humus to soil. Manure is relatively less rich in plant nutrients while fertilizer is rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. So overall, the advantages of manure over fertilizer are: it enhances water holding capacity of soil. It makes soil porous, due to which exchange of gas becomes easy. It increases number of friendly microbes like earthworms. It improves texture of soil. On the other hand, disadvantages of fertilizers are its excessive use makes soil less fertile and it causes water pollution also. So we conclude that fertilizer have more disadvantages than advantages. So to maintain fertility of soil, we should substitute fertilizer with organic manure. We should leave field uncultivated in between two crops and we should do crop rotation. Crop rotation means growing different crops alternately, that is one after another, which requires different nutrients. In crop rotation, we rotate those crops alternately which requires different nutrients so that soil does not get depleted of the nutrients. Here I would like to mention another point about a bacteria known as rhizobium. In leguminous plants, this bacteria is present in the legumes, in roots of plant. And it helps in fixing of nitrogen. Which is essential for the growth of leguminous plants. Now our next topic is irrigation. Irrigation means supply of water to crops at different intervals. The time and frequency of irrigation varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. Our aim in irrigation is to supply adequate amount of water to our plants. The importance of irrigation is that water helps in proper growth and development of flowers and fruits. It helps in germination of seeds. Water helps in absorption of minerals and fertilizers by plant roots. It protects plant from frost, that is excessive cold, and hot air currents. It is essential to maintain moisture of soil. So the sources of irrigation, that is where can we get the water for irrigation, are well, tube well, pond, lake, river, dam and canals. Coming to methods of irrigation, first traditional methods which are cheaper but less efficient. These are moat, pulley system, chain pump, dhekli or rahat, known as lever system. In these methods, for lifting water, pumps are used, and these pumps are operated with the help of biogas, electricity, or solar energy. Now the next are modern methods, which use water economically. That is, they are more efficient. These are sprinkler system and drip system. In modern method, we are having sprinkler system and drip system. In sprinkler system, we are having perpendicular pipes having rotating nozzles on their top. These pipes are connected to the main line and a pump which helps in the continuous supply of water. Through these rotating nozzles, sprinkles of water fall over the crop and helps in irrigation. It is more useful on uneven land and is useful for sandy soils. On the other hand, in drip system, water falls just drop by drop at the roots of the plants through the pipes which are connected to the main line and from there to the pump. It is the best technique for watering fruit plants, gardens, and trees. So these are the modern methods of irrigation which are more efficient. Coming to the next topic, that is protection from weeds. What are weeds? Weeds are undesirable plants that grow naturally along with crop in field. They compete with crop plant for water, nutrient, space, and light. Ultimately, they affect the growth of crop plant. Some weeds can even be poisonous, so they should be removed. The process of removing of weeds is known as weeding, and the best time of weeding is before wheat produce flower and seeds, that is before they get matured. It is essential to control weeds for healthy growth of crops. So methods of weed control are tilling before sowing of crop, which helps in uprooting and killing of weeds, physical removal by uprooting and cutting weeds near ground, time to time using khurpi. Seed drill is also used to uproot weeds. Chemicals like 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, also known as 2,4-D, which are weedicide, can be sprayed in fields. They selectively kill the weeds. These weedicides are harmful in nature, so farmers should cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth during spraying of weedicide to protect themselves. Next topic is harvesting. Harvesting means cutting of crop after its maturation. Usually a crop takes 3 to 4 months to get matured. Methods of harvesting. There are two methods of harvesting. Either we can do harvesting manually or by using machine. Manually we can do it by using sickle. And using machine, there is a machine called harvester or a combined machine having property of both harvester and thresher. Thresher is used for separation of chaff, which is not of our use. Now there are some festivals which are associated with harvesting. These festivals are Pongal, Baisakhi, Holi, Diwali, Bihu. Now comes the last topic of this chapter, that is storage. It is a very crucial step in crop production and its management. Before storage, grains should be properly dried in sun to reduce the moisture in them. It prevents attack by insects, pests, bacteria and fungi which can destroy the crop if not protected. Storage can be done in jute bags, metallic bins, sitos and granaries. At home, we use neem leaves to protect grains, while at big godowns, chemical treatment is done. With this, the chapter crop production and management is over. Hope you all had understood it very well. If there is any doubt, please do ask in comment section and like, subscribe and share the video. Thank you.